Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Your Relationship With podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Snow. I'm the founder of the Powerful Women Rising community, which is a group of female entrepreneurs who want to start, grow, or take their businesses to the next level. We grow together in a community of supportive, fun, like-minded, positive women, and we have everything that you need in order to see real business growth. We have mastermind calls, co-working calls, content creation, expert-led classes, and a really robust community online that is also super fun, I might add. So if you're interested in learning more, we are going to be enrolling new members soon. Click the link in the show notes and join the waitlist. All right, today I am interviewing one of my dear friends, Connie Kercher, and we are talking about your relationship with strategic planning. Connie has been coaching and consulting on strategy, creative sales and marketing campaigns, and developing the skill sets to become the best CEO of you and your business for over 15 years. She's passionate about inspiring and teaching practical tips and tools that leverage your time and your strengths. She advocates get out of your head and onto paper, and completion builds confidence. I know that strategic planning doesn't sound like a sexy topic. I know no one was like, oh my God, strategic planning, that's going to be super fun and funny. But Connie breaks it down into really understandable, tangible pieces to give you an idea of things that you can start implementing today to improve your strategy in your business. It's way more effective than throwing spaghetti up against a wall and hoping that it sticks. Trust me, I did that for years. Connie is brilliant when it comes to strategic planning, and I know that you are going to get tons of useful tips out of this interview that you can start using right away. Hello, Connie. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. I'm super excited to be here today.
Yes, me too. Okay, so we have to come clean. We tried recording this once before. I'm telling the secret. We were like 10 minutes into this recording and a car crashed into the electrical box out on my street. Power went dead. Fortunately, we hadn't gotten to any of the good stuff yet, so we're ready for it today. So before we get rolling, tell everybody a little bit about you and your own relationship to strategic planning.
Awesome. So I just want to kind of just give a framework that if you're listening or watching this, just really kind of just give me a clean slate, right? Because I think sometimes the connotation of strategic planning is this like 58-page document binder that's dusty and it's a bad word. And, it's something that's like, we don't use the strategic plan. It's too overwhelming. So let me just kind of like clear the air on that. A strategic plan in my background is that it's more so it's an applicable, it's in motion. It's actually you do something with the strategic plan, right? So my background is in higher education, setting the intention for what was our 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, KPIs, right? And for us small business owners, that's key performance indicators. That's just understanding the milestones to go, did we get to the finish line or did we not? It's not to be a judgment tool. It's not to be a restrictive tool. A strategic plan, from just how I've always taught it, implemented it, and made it more just feasible for small business owners is it's just a pace report. It's a way that we have a matrix to know, are we moving in the trajectory of what you want the business to do without spending extra money, spinning your wheels, trying 17 different strategies and having no data to know which ones we need to do again and which ones we need to maybe say, thanks, you served a season, don't need to be putting that into marketplace anymore, don't need to be putting that necessarily, focus anymore. So at the end of the day, my background in strategic planning is for it not to be all the pre-work, the obsession with the get stuck in the planning mode. That should only be 33% of this process. Then the implementation of a strategic plan is phase 2. That should take 33% of your time. And then the most important, where most people don't even like revisit, is that last 33% of post-evaluation. What did the strategic plan do? What did you actually do for that quarter? What story does that tell? So we can be more informed as a business owner moving forward.
I love that. So a strategic plan, I think most people, you're right. When I think of a strategic plan, I think like, okay, I sat down with my business coach. She asked me all the questions. We figured out the things, put my plan in my folder and go back to what I was doing and be like, yeah, I made a business plan. So I love what I love about what you're saying is the business plan is an ever evolving, ever changing document, right? It's a living document where you are continuing to look at, this is what I had planned. This is what I thought was going to happen. Let's look at what actually did happen and now plan how we're going to move forward.
And two key words I like to, again, strategic planning is sometimes a new language, right? So we just have to practice that. We have to get some of the vernacular. A new way of thinking about strategic planning, the way I like to align it with my clients is it's the tactics, right? So you have the goal. I'm going to gain X amount of, new products, sold. I'm going to gain 15 new people in my membership. I want to, have X amount of speaking opportunities. So that's more what we think a strategic plan is. What I come alongside and what the strategic plan actually should be is, what are our 3 to 5 tactics to get there? That's a missing link. So that's one piece is like the tactics. Tell me from A to B, what's the 3 to 5 ways we're going to show up in the world to do that? The other piece is leveraging. Somehow, some way we go into strategic planning mode and we forget we have other resources and that we've done this before and we have data. It's like we walk into it and it's like, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. And I'm like, but you've been doing your business. So you do have a starting point, right? Or you've been thinking about it for 15 years. You do have a starting point. So that would be their piece is a strategic plan goes, how am I leveraging what I have, the gifts that I have, the talents that I have, the circle of influence I already have, like all of that just for some reason, when we go into a strategic planning session, like gets just like forgotten. I'm like, that's where you actually start with the strategic plan.
Yeah, because then you're halfway there.
Yes. And you're now out of your head onto paper, right? So that's, that piece of you've thought about it. Your brain does not understand why we're not taking action on it. And it defeats you and it kind of, knocks your confidence. It can cause some of that imposter syndrome. By putting a plan in place, just on paper itself, the activity of itself helps you build confidence to go, that's the tactics. And I do have, that person in that group. That introduction that I had. Yeah, I do have content already made. But if you don't get it on paper, your brain cannot compartmentalize what's the strategy versus like, I'm just going to be busy Monday through Friday.
100%. And that's a good distinction too, is the difference between like actually acting on your strategic plan and just being busy. Because that's what I'm thinking when you're talking is like strategic planning is the antidote to what I think most of us do when we start a business, which is I need a Facebook group. I'm going to start a podcast. I should email my list. I'm going to write a blog. I'm going to do the thing, right? And we're just like doing all of the things. And some things are working, some things are not working. We don't know what those things are. We just know sometimes we're getting clients and sometimes we're not. So we're staying very busy, but we're probably wasting a lot of time and money and energy, right?
Yeah. And the cadence, the way I like to kind of just give a framework, a blueprint, is the cadence should be about once a month. You are revisiting, you're spending that last 33% of your strategic plan and going, did we do it? Right? Like at the end of every month, I have a CEO day with me, myself, and I. Connie Kercher, is meeting with Connie Kercher, the employee. And we're talking about how did that event go? How did that marketing campaign go? How did that social media blitz go? How did that follow-up campaign go? And we're having just an honest conversation with me and me, right? So for all of us solopreneurs and small business owners, it's really important that then we go, okay, March or for November, right? Whatever the next month is, what is that going to look like? Tell me the tactics to get 10% better every single month, closer to our targets in our strategic plan.
Yeah. So if people are listening to this and they're like, okay, that sounds like a really good idea. I would love to do that. And also that seems really overwhelming. I've never had a strategic plan. This is the first time I've heard the phrase. Or I had a strategic plan or what I thought was a strategic plan. I've never looked at it again. What's the best way people can start to implement this idea of strategic planning without getting overwhelmed?
Yep. So there's three, I would say, top tools that, again, I'm not a big coach that believes, even educator that believes like these top three tips are going to save your business, right? So filter this through what you know about yourself, through what your business model is. I'm very mindful of that. But when I say three, maybe best practices, the first one is understanding that granular goals are usually the missing step. You have the high level revenue goal, the high level retention goal, the high level, the big picture goal. It's granular goals. So when you're at that stopping point and you're like, okay, I know kind of what to start with, maybe a 90-day strategic plan. That's where I have anyone that's like, this is newer in your walk as a business owner. Please don't start with a 10-year strategic plan. You might shut down. Okay.
Yeah.
Just FYI, you might shut down. But a 90-day strategic plan is realistic. I'm not a big believer to be like, make a month strategic. That's not enough data. Okay. Mm-hmm. But for an entire quarter strategic plan, 3 to 5 KPIs, start there. How do you know you crossed the finish line? We did it or we did not do it. So 3 to 5 ways that you're going to say yes or no at the end of those 90 days. But before you leave your strategic planning, pre-planning session to go to implementation of your 90 days, please take each one of those tactics and go the granular strategy, the granular way I'm going to do that, the leads list I'm going to cultivate. Where am I mining that? Please put in place granular goals so that the next day you walk into your home office, you're not going sell 5 bundles, sell right. 5 bundles, sell 5 bundles, right? You're going my granular steps over the next 90 days on Tuesdays and Thursdays is to take action on these Facebook groups, to take action on these CRM tagged folks. So please go down to granular goals. I don't hear anyone talking about that. Number 2 is winning the day. I'm such a big believer in compounding. Strategic planning does not happen at a quarterly or yearly basis. It literally happens by winning the day. So when you sit down and whether you're jamming out a 4-day work week, whether you're jamming out a 2-day work week, no judgment. You do you. You're running your business. But each day you sit down and I want you to go, what does winning the day, my completion list look like? We are not moving in strategy when we have to-do list. Your brain shuts down. You have very little confidence, to be honest with you. If I think about how is everyone's to-do list going? Overwhelmed, undone. I never believe I'm actually going to get it done. It takes way longer. My day fell apart. Maybe we shouldn't label it that then. Yeah. So paradigm shift when you're implementing second phase, implementing your actual strategic plan, go 3 to 5 completion action steps for today are. Let me say that one more time, because this is what you should put on the top of your legal pad or on the top of your journal or on the top of your 17 notes that you have 17 piles everywhere. Synthesize that and go, today on a Tuesday, these are my 5 completion tasks. Okay. That is something that, again, why strategic plans don't quote unquote work is because we're not defining what completion looks like. It's so vague. Okay. So I always like to teach a couple different phrases. If it's not formal, it's going to flee. If you couldn't tell it to me, I'm not going to be able to implement it for you. Yeah. So make it more formal, or that plan, that time, that goal is going to flee. And then the other piece is that confidence is built by completion. It is. There's so much research on that. So as you build this chain of winning the day, it will look different. My Monday looks different, but based on my energy, my weekend, how many clients I'm seeing, to go like, these are my actual completion steps. And then there's days that I'm able to go underground and implement 7 of them. Yeah. So please don't be stuck on the quantity. Be stuck on and training our brain. Is this realistic for me to move the Likert scale towards my strategic plan? That's the only reason we're in the business, to do the business, to work in the business. And we, don't know like why I'm sitting in my office doing sales time, why I'm sitting in my office networking, why I'm doing follow-ups. But if I know I'm doing 7 follow-ups to ask for this specific program and I do it by 2:00, I actually now have a why I'm sitting in my home office at 2:00 on a Tuesday.
Yeah. And then when 2:00 comes and I've done those 7 things, now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm a rock star.
Yeah. And I'm going, I know now why I'm putting my time, my effort, my inertia, and I'm creating momentum. The
Yeah.
last thing I like to implement, what it's like, Connie, it feels overwhelming, is Ohio. So write this acronym down or just kind of go, hey, I'm always picturing Connie Kercher sitting on my shoulder, big smile, lots of jewelry, lots of makeup, big hair, energy like I've never seen before. But she's telling me Ohio. The acronym for Ohio is only handle it once. When we're doing our strategic plan and we've implemented or we debrief it, we feel some sort of obligation to handle it 17 times, shuffle the papers and the ways that we look at the data 17 times, check the email box, 13 times. Let me respond to that message later today. So one way I like to get out of that stuckness is I do an Ohio jam session for 20 minutes. What are the things that are pending or that I can implement in my strategic plan where I only have to handle it once? Send the podcast interview person a follow-up, only handle it once, get it out of my ballpark. The inbox of, can you join this event or not? Would you like to be a sponsor for this event or not? Like, only handle it once. We have trained to hem and haw in our strategic plan to be like, does it fit in the strategic plan or not? You start trusting yourself because that decision-making model becomes a little bit more fluid. If you just practice maybe twice a week, 20 minutes, Ohio, what are the things that you are bottlenecking because you think you have to touch it again? Stop. Only handle it once.
Those are so good. The whole time I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm thinking, man, how different my life would have been if I knew Connie Kercher 7 years ago when I started this business.
Yep.
Because I spent so much time and money and like, I'm doing this thing and I'm doing this thing and brain power. And it's just, it's exhausting and overwhelming.
Yep. And a strategic plan should be streamlining you. If you're feeling like it is an overwhelming step, it's not the tool that's supposed to feel overwhelming and restrictive. It is so that I feel complete, that I know whatever I'm supposed to do that month, I have my 5 KPIs. I've done the due diligence, right? I've put in the seeds. I've done the sweat equity. I've put in alignment time. That's what we need as business owners. And then we know that the results will evolve, compound, but we get so stuck in the first 3 days of that, then we just stop and we go, it didn't work. And I'm like, well, we never cultivated it. We never created momentum in that. Right. So I hope those 3 tools, I would hope everyone in the audience just processes and goes, which one out of those 3 is one that you actually can implement?
Yeah, for sure. You don't even have to do them all at the same time. Just start somewhere.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Choose one and let that ride for your first 90 days as you practicing and getting better at strategic planning.
I'm thinking too, in the sense of like, so many people, especially when they're new in business, they think their answer for everything is, I don't know, right? This is my clients a lot. Like, well, how do you want to market that? I don't know. Well, where are you going to find those people? I don't know. What do you want to sell? I don't know. So as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking like, okay, well, what if people are listening to this and they're thinking, okay, I don't even know like what to put on my strategic plan. I don't know what my KPI should be. I don't know what my tactics should be. I don't know.
So I'm a big believer that we need to make it fun. Okay. I think our brains are so overwhelmed and we default to, I'm inadequate. That's the same thing as I don't know. We just don't say that. I'm not feeling like I can make an educated decision because I've never done this business before, or I have a perceived failure in this business. So here's my encouragement. What if we gamify it? What if you incentivize yourself to go, every time I say, I don't know, I owe the company $5. You'll learn real quick to maybe not be saying that I don't know and to use a little bit of creative troubleshooting to go, yeah, actually, I do know someone in that space, or actually I have thought about that. I did take that course. I never implemented it. So 2 different ways of like, I don't know, or I have a stopping point of like doing a strategic plan or being much more just strategic and intentional in my business overall is incentivization and gamification. Our brains need, that's not a want, need a dopamine hit to know that we have done the good thing. We need the carrot, and we need the round of applause, and we need the one little sweet treat, and then we'll do it again. But if my brain doesn't get, and my body doesn't get that like moment of, I did my 16 calls, here's the incentive. I started with 30 minutes of just writing the email campaign. I get a reward. We miss that. We think because we're all adults, and that's stupid, Connie. We do that only for like our kids' chore charts, or a nonprofit does it for their, thermometer to raise money. Those things work for a reason. Okay. So my encouragement, I like the visual of a Candyland game. I love the, kind of week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 of every month to go, what does week 1 look like? Monday through Friday, make little squares on 3M giant sticky notes. I wish I was sponsored by 3M giant sticky notes. I'd be a millionaire. But like you literally having a tracking sheet, a visual reminder of your own Candyland game, broken down into a Monday through Friday, week 1. I earned then $50 gift certificate to XYZ, nice dinner out with my significant other. Okay. Week 2, I'm going to, research this, implement this. Candyland, kind of row number 2, this is my incentive. So we don't go into action. We're not going to implement the strategic plan if we don't have some sort of reward system built in. And think about this. Any corporate model, higher education model, nonprofit model, fundraiser model, there's almost this like HR department person that has to go, Melissa, how are you motivated? Is it gift cards? Is it paid time off? Is it an incentive trip, right? Is it this? We run our own businesses and we never think about, oh yeah, I don't have an HR director asking me, this is our strategic plan for the company. What is it going to take to dangle a carrot so we actually do it? Every corporate structure has that, right? Every MLM structure has that. Every networking group to have members join has an incentive, right? It's so interesting to me. Again, we get better every month that like, why do we think as business owners, we don't need to tap into that?
Right.
We do. So your strategic plan on the month-to-month basis needs an incentive. It needs a cash reward. It needs 2 days paid time off from the company, AKU. But we need to make that more formal or it's going to be fleeting.
The thing that I think is really smart about that too, is then it makes the incentives and the rewards within your control. Because what I see a lot is my clients will go start doing the things, they'll follow the plan, they'll do everything they're going to do, but nobody signs up for their thing or nobody buys their stuff. And after a week, it's like, well, nobody buy my stuff. I don't want to keep doing this. But if you are doing it the way that you say, you're getting the reward. It's all within your control, even if they don't buy your stuff.
All the activity, all the leveraging. So you did the 20 follow-ups, all the tactics, you did the posting in the groups, you did your event, you did the opt-in, you finally tagged people in your CRM correctly. Let's just say those 5. Y'all, we know how hard that is. We need an incentive to go, I'm going to do it in the next month, right? We need that. We that dopamine hit in association with building my business is tactics, not just kind of me being busy. And the overwhelmed feeling is typically because I don't know what completion looks like and I don't have a reward when I do it.
Yes. So smart. This is so good.
Yes.
Okay. Before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you said at the beginning of the call about you having meetings with yourself, you as CEO and you as employee.
Yep.
What is the best way for the people listening to this podcast or watching the video to become more intentional about running their business as a CEO rather than as an employee?
Yep. So it's twofold. It's recognizing that typically the employee side of you has gone completely rogue and he or she can do whatever they want in the company. So it's now our responsibility to learn how to manage you. So you are now the CEO at the 6-foot table. You can't just be showing up 1 hour a week and expect the employee side of you to know what to do, how to do it. When I'm unmotivated, the CEO is going to need to know what to say to me. When I hit it out of the park, I'm going to need some recognition. So I love the visual cue of I'm CEO Connie Kercher sitting on one side and I'm giving directives. I'm supporting Connie, the employee, because we all know, all of us have felt this. I'm the best employee of my company at days. And there's times I fire her and I put her back on an employee enhancement program because she's all I got. You know what I mean? But we forget that you're managing a person. I have a personal life. I have emotions. I have days I feel beaten down and days I'm kicking butt and taking names. If we don't segment, the technique is segmenting as a third party. It's hard for us to be able to go like, I'm not in the groove. What to do? Just like if you would hire me, you would sit me down and you'd give me, Connie, to write this, to do this, to put you as a contract, to put you on a consulting piece. This is what we need to see. We're going to have a meeting in 3 weeks, and then we're going to have a meeting in another 3 weeks. So make it formal that you literally come with an agenda as the CEO to your monthly meeting, and you, the employee, I'm feeling overworked. I'm feeling undervalued. I want to try this. I want to do this professional development. Make it a formal meeting where 10 minutes, the CEO gets to speak, 10 minutes, the employee side of you gets to speak. Last 10 minutes is called negotiation. So Connie, CEO, I hear you want me to do that. That's different than our meeting 3 weeks ago. So what do you want me to prioritize? Because I'm only one person. And you said I only need to be on the company for 25 hours a week. Mm-hmm. Now the employee gets to say, I want to do this. I can take this. This didn't happen as well. It gives you a time to drop into the business and let distractions kind of fall away. So the greatest gift, strategic planning wise, or just again, being more intentional, is sitting at that 6-foot table once a month, 30 minutes, and going 5 agenda items from the CEO lens of you, 5 agenda items from the employee side of you, the one that's doing client fulfillment, the PR person, the social media person, the accounting person, all those things, and be like, these are the top 5 things we need to realign, CEO, because I'm working for you. I'm on the same vision with you, but some of these things are falling apart, or you're bottlenecking it. I need more direction. It helps you have that healthy conversation.
That's so brilliant, because I hear people talk a lot about having CEO time, and don't forget to put CEO time on your calendar. And of course, that's important. Yeah. And also don't forget that you are the employee also. Like, we need to manage that person as well. Absolutely. And listen to that person.
Yeah. Absolutely. I want to retain Connie Kercher, the employee, because I hired her for a reason. She's phenomenal. She does all these things. I have to recognize, though, how to manage her. And I also have to have her have a voice that when we're 10 days into the month or 20 days into the month, and she's like, I hit this goal, I didn't hit this goal, I'm getting frustrated with this. This is amazing. I need to be a soundboard for her, right? That's a healthy way. OSHA would not be happy with me if I brought in other people and I didn't do that. Why would we be working for our own companies in those conditions?
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah. So we could keep going forever. I just love talking to you. You're so brilliant. But if people are listening to this podcast, they want to connect with you, they agree with me that you're brilliant, and they want to keep hearing from you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Absolutely. So our website is called Switchboard Networking Boutique. The actual URL is switchboard, N as in networking, B as in boutique.com. I have different programs on there. I have opportunities for speaking. And again, it's another way that we just kind of housed all these concepts, other ways that we can do strategy, other ways that we have mindset. And so check out our website, switchboardnb.com. If any of this resonated with you, I'd love to set up a complimentary call. That link is on our website under professional development workshops. I'd love to, again, just talk strategy, get down to the intentionality. And that's the gift I know I am called to in this world, right? If you called me to talk about something else, Melissa, it wouldn't be another topic, right? This is my lane. This is my genius zone. This is where I've researched for over 20 years. And I know that it's my mission to come alongside business owners and ease what strategy can be and the benefit of it.
Yeah, you're incredible. I will put the link for your website and also for people to book that free strategy session with you in our show notes, and everybody can reach out to you that way. Thank you so much, Connie.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Melissa, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for listening to the Your Relationship With podcast. If you liked what you heard, we would love for you to subscribe and leave us a review. If you want more information about the Powerful Women Rising community or about our monthly virtual speed networking event, check out the link in the comments. We'll see you next time.